Hello everyone, we have some short stories here from Hyperobscura. They have a book coming out, so I have that link in the description. Please check that out. Broken Home. Let's start at the beginning, Mrs. Jameson. How would you describe the relationship between Liam and his father? Stepfather. Frank was his stepfather. Oh, I understand. How would you say they got along before all of this? He was afraid of him. I know that much. Any particular incident that comes to mind? He is good, you know, deep down in his heart. I know it. But it wasn't easy. He could get very angry. In what way? He'd let us know when he wasn't happy with us. Slam a fist in the table, threaten us. He was better to me, but I felt it too. The tension, always having to step on eggshells around him. The looks of contempt. You can't live like that. Not for very long anyway. Any violence? He was never violent toward me, not really. He'd pull my hair sometimes, maybe grab me by the throat, but it never went beyond that. So there was violence. He would never admit to it, you know. He was proud like that, strong, kind, wanted to protect me, but I saw the bruises, never a day without new bruises. How long has this been happening? It started already when Frank moved in. He took control over the household immediately, and it has been going downhill ever since. I'm sorry that I have to ask this question, but why didn't you report it? I wanted to, I really did, but at the same time I couldn't. Not only do I love him, but I also feared how he'd react when he found out. Feared he would kill us. How long has Frank been living with you? About a year now, give or take. That's a long time to live in fear. It really is. Let's move on to the night of. I understand you called it in a little after midnight. Yes, it was a bad day, but it only got worse. When I heard Frank yelling from upstairs and furniture smashing against the walls, I knew I had to do something. So you decided to step in? What? No, what are you talking about? I just called the police. I'm sorry, Mrs. Jameson, I'm not sure I'm following. Did you or did you not stab Frank with the kitchen knife? No! Why on earth would I do that? To protect your son? To stop Frank from harming him? Are you serious? Haven't you heard a word I've said? Frank is the kindest man I've ever known. He wouldn't hurt a fly. I'm sorry, I don't think I understand. It's Liam I'm scared of. You don't know what that boy is capable of, Detective. For the love of God, don't let him out of your sight. You're telling me Liam killed Frank? Liam's not normal, Detective. How do you think I lost my first husband? Death date. Given the choice, would you want to know the exact date of your death? There are fair points supporting both stances, wouldn't you agree? Knowing the day of your timely demise would allow you to enjoy life to the fullest. Each day would be a blessing, and the approaching end could be viewed simply as an old friend awaiting that final, all-consuming embrace. On the other hand, it could also drive you mad, force you into an unending stupor of depression. Knowing full well when it will end might make you question the point of your existence. Why bother? You're just gonna cease to be anyway. Is it even worth it? Before all this, I pondered these questions too. Death is such a dreaded concept. And even the alluring promise of a beautiful afterlife, filled with all manner of delights, is rarely enough for us to acknowledge the finality of our earthly existence. We avoid it, fear it, despise it. We do everything to prolong our stay, even when this means nothing but continuous pain and anguish. Why? That's maybe the one question I can't answer, the one question they can't answer. 4 days, 6 hours, 57 minutes. You may find my methods to be crude and outdated, but they get the job done. It's for the greater good. Knowledge, empirical data, proof, statistics, call it what you will. But in the end, it's the only way to quantify the answers truthfully. Is it better to know? I keep them separated, of course. I wouldn't want to risk tainting the results. It's all about the results. Usually, I'll have 10 subjects at a time, 5 given the date, 5 left in the dark. I don't touch them. I don't even visit them until the end. 5 are given frequent updates, reminding them of the time they have left. The other 5 are left wondering when it will happen. That's the only thing they share, the knowledge that it will happen. 2 days, 12 hours, 13 minutes. So which is better? Which is worse? You tell me. You have exactly 5 days to live. Starting now. For my daughter. So it has come to this. My hand shakes erratically as the ballpoint pen documents a story I never in my wildest imagination thought I'd be sharing. A letter describing acts so heinous and gruesome it'd make even the strongest stomach churn relentlessly in convulsive contractions of disgust. I can feel the bile rising in the back of my throat as the recollection unfolds, and with each trembling stroke of the pen, a recurring thought echoes. How did it come to this? Dear Mom, I just can't stand the guilt anymore. Not after Anna left us. I can't be around Vanessa after that. I don't trust myself with her. What if the urges overcome me? What if I one night find myself choking the life out of my own baby daughter? Tears stain the cheap printer paper. So many. There's just so many. I can't keep up with all of them. I suppose the details don't really matter in the end. It's the confession that's vital. It's the words that will damn me, not the names. I've lost count. 20, 30, all young and pretty and full of life. Necks so long and slender and fragile. Eyes sparkling with hopes and dreams. To witness all that vanish. To watch as the flickering light of life fade and disappear. To have the power to single-handedly remove someone from existence. Who can resist such temptations? I know I can't. The crib creaks discordantly as it rocks hypnotically back and forth. Thank heavens Vanessa is sleeping. I don't want her to see this. I don't want her to remember her father dangling from a rope. You will find evidence in my basement. Pictures, trophies, enough to identify my subjects. Enough to convict me in a posthumous trial, enough to offer some manner of peace and solace to the grieving masses. Almost at the end now, a strange calm overcomes me, facing the inevitability of everything. End of the line. And I know deep down it's the only way to be sure. I can see the harrowing rope swinging relentlessly in my peripheral vision, a constant, sobering reminder of the nature of my letter. I love you, Mom. Please believe that. And please, I beg of you, take care of Vanessa. Raise her as your own. Forget about me. Forget I ever existed. Let her play with her uncle and aunts and cousins. Let her grow up and live a full life. Let her live. I guess that's it. That's all I need. I hold the tear-stained letter up to the light, a worried glance thrown toward the ever-creaking crib. Very good, my brother says, a disturbing grin manifesting on his lips as he slowly removes the blade resting on my sleeping daughter's throat. Now sign it. Mommy, why is my face inside out? Mommy, why is my face inside out? It's a question you don't quite know how to answer, but as a parent should always expect. Kids aren't stupid. They're quite perceptive, in fact, and they always tell the truth. They always ask the truth. Molly was 6 when she asked me the question. A lovely little angel she was, fair-haired, blue-eyed, and sweet. You couldn't help but to fall in love with her precious, pure-hearted soul. We were skipping down the trail to the beat of the drums, when she suddenly stopped dead in her tracks. She just stood there in silence, eyes fixated on her feet before asking, "Mommy, why is my face inside out?" There's no easy way to answer the question, of course. You could go into full professor mode and explain to her the delicate intricacies of subcutaneous tissue and how it pertains in regards to the details of her condition. Or you could get all philosophical and suggest to her that it's all intrinsically linked to the duality of mankind, the transitioning forces of life itself, and the alpha, omega of all things. But you know it won't satisfy her curiosity. So instead, you could look into the religious doctrines, tell her about the dark apostate and the great conflagration, tell her the truth of the word and trust that she will embrace it as her own. Tell her how a face is just a lie, an instrument of the schismatic opposer, 1,000 untruths woven into a single expression. Pray that she will accept this, thus readying herself for the trials down the road. But you know it will take more than a story. So just tell her the brutal truth, the violent facts. Tell her why she's different, and don't hold back. Don't skimp on the grisly details. She can take it. Kids are strong, resilient, capable of overcoming great trauma. It's better to prepare them for what's coming. Better that they know early on. "Oh, my darling Molly," I said, caressing her beautiful blonde hair. "It won't be inside out forever. Expect a smile of relief, but quickly move on. Don't let the frail hope linger for too long." So you tell her in great detail about the medical procedure, how that when she comes of age they will cut deep into the skin around her face, pull off the mask, and turn it the other way around. Tell her that she has to be awake for it, to feel the blood pouring down her neck, to feel the scalpel carving into flesh, but that it will all be worth it, because, in the end, she won't be alone. She'll be like the rest of us. shielded forever from the thousand untruths. She will swallow deeply and fall deathly silent, but she'll come to accept it. Take her hand, skip down the trail, join the ceremony. We are all one here. We are all the same, as is our way. One truth, one face. The day I fell into the sky. Casadastrophobia, a fear of falling into the sky. The first time I experienced it, I was a kid, lying on a summery lawn looking up into the clear blue above. I imagine the sensation is like a reverse vertigo, the sky suddenly coming closer, a feeling as if gravity no longer applies, then the horrifying realization that you're slowly floating upwards. The day I fell into the sky, I was 16 and madly in love. I remember lying in the park, staring into Sarah Dawson's bright blue eyes. I wanted so badly to just move in for the kiss, but I chickened out, instead turning my gaze to the clear azure above. It happened just like it had happened so many times before. My gaze drifted into the endless blue. I felt detached from reality, the sky lowering, my body light as a feather, panic gripping my heart. And then I fell. I launched into the sky screaming. Within seconds, I was hundreds of yards into the air, and the pressure in my head was building rapidly. Breathing soon became impossible, and I finally passed out. I woke up in unimaginable pain. Dread overcame me when I realized I couldn't move a single muscle. "We got a live one, Doc," a man's voice called. "How are the organs?" another voice replied. "Could use a couple of weeks. Put it back under then." I was suspended in the air, a dark room, two blurry silhouettes moving around methodically. I tried to scream, but there came no sound, just horrid echoes in my mind. I don't know why it took me so long to realize. One of the men, blurry silhouettes, prodded me idly. Every touch like a million needles inserted directly into my nerve endings. Where are my feet? "It's conscious, Doc," the figure said. "So, put it back under." "Won't it remember? Does it matter?" Where are my arms? I was a dangling torso, suspended in the air by pulsating cyst-ridden organic wires. My skin was ashen gray, covered in scars, the deep gashes dripping with disgusting yellow pus. "Wouldn't it be disrupted?" the figure asked. "It will fade," the other voice reasoned. "Minor changes perhaps, but minuscule in detail. Overloading pain receptors then." With a swift motion, the figure stuck his hand into my torso. Have you ever experienced pain so great that your mind cannot handle it? Every one of your synapses lighting up in pure torment. It was like that, except multiplied endlessly. "Sleep now," the figure said. "It was just a dream." Then everything went black. I woke up screaming. Sarah did her best to calm me down, but it still took me hours to come back from that gruesome nightmare. But it wasn't real, was it? No. Sarah caressed my hair and whispered that she loved me. I guess that did it, grounded me again. I stared into her eyes and finally found courage to kiss her. I've always been a sucker for those beautiful, deep, brown eyes. Special thanks to Hyperobscura for letting me read those stories. Have a good night, everyone. Love, the Mistress.